Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Rico Verhoeven. This dude should be running for prime minister or president somewhere right now. Because after that performance against Usyk, he's got everybody talking. Everybody is talking about Rico Verhoeven. And he's going to be ranked by the WBC, I think in the top 5. But hey, he shocked the boxing world, man. You know what I'm saying? He really did. It's who he fought and how he performed against him. You know what I mean? He didn't fight Derek Chisora, which would have been a good fight. He didn't fight Hrgovic. This guy fought Usyk. Usyk has done nothing but dominate since he's come to the heavyweight division. And he didn't do that at all against Rico Verhoeven. Now, coming into the fight, many boxing fans treated Rico like a kickboxer playing around in boxing. They expected Usyk to completely outclass him with movement, angles, experience, and championship level composure, because that's what Usyk has done. Even I expected that. But instead, didn't quite go that way, did it? You know, we watched Rico walk Usyk down for large portions of the fight, physically impose himself, counter Usyk, cut the ring off. I mean, he was doing things that elite heavyweights have not been able to do. And I tell you what, that immediately changed the perception surrounding Rico. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no one out here saying, oh, he's just a kickboxer. Nah. They're like, this guy can really fight. And many people feel, as a matter of fact, almost all feel, shit, he beat everybody. He almost beat Usyk. They feel he'll beat everybody. And that's just the conversation. Now, you see, when you got a guy like Rico, before, we knew he was a big guy, but nobody was really concerned about the physicality that he brings to the ring. You know, it's never mattered against a guy like Usyk, and why would it matter, you know, just because it's this guy Rico, right? Shit. That size, that pressure, that physicality became a massive problem in there for Oleksandr Usyk. Rico did look huge in that ring. He looked like a monster, I ain't gonna lie. And it's not just muscular, you know. He was balanced, he was composed, he was physically commanding, and he looked strong in those exchanges and the clinches, man. But you see, you can see that one person was looking comfortable in there with, as far as mentally comfortable with the pace, comfortable with the movement. And that wasn't Usyk. Rico didn't mentally fold. And everybody, you could tell at ringside, everybody, even like me watching it on TV, I was like, what the hell am I watching here? You know, you just don't have somebody get in the ring with Usyk and cut the ring off on Usyk. You know, out jab Usyk. You know, put that kind of body pressure on Usyk, like the calmness, the punch selection, conditioning, even the defensive awareness. Like, you just don't see anybody in there doing these things and impressing fans. Normally it's Usyk doing these things and impressing the fans. But I'm going to tell you something. We got to put some respect on the Furies. Now, y'all may say, well, why are you talking about the Furies? Because, man, the Furies know something about fighting. That's all I'm going to say. They know something about fighting. Because Peter Fury had been working with Rico for 15 years. This wasn't even being talked about, the 15 years of boxing experience under Peter Fury. Peter Fury has a brilliant boxing mind. And those 15 years of training and that weird Fury herky-jerky style, off-rhythm kind of, you know, dance that they do inside the ring. Even you look at Savannah Marshall. Peter Fury trains her. She has that same kind of herky-jerky, always moving style. Head always moving, you know, they don't give you a stable target. But that experience showed up everywhere during the fight. You know, he didn't fight like a novice. He looked disciplined, patient. He was educated, structured, man. He just had it. Wasn't loading. You just think we can get a big guy like that who you think is an inexperienced boxer, he just come loading up wildly wildly trying to land a knockout blow. That's not what he did. You know what I mean? Even when Usyk was feinting, he wasn't taking the bait on the feint. You know, he was the one setting traps. He was the one doing the feints. But everything that he was doing, being cool and composed, you got to give credit, massive credit to Peter Fury. But right now, everyone knows that Rico's boxing IQ is far higher than expected. Them years of technical work finally showed themselves on the biggest stage. So that transition from kickboxing to boxing, let me tell y'all something. He's a boxer now. He is a boxer. So y'all got to accept this man into the boxing fraternity. Because what he did last night, nobody else has been able to do to Usyk. Usyk did look older than what we're used to seeing. That was a big talking point. He's 39 now. Maybe the age is catching up to him. But maybe Rico had something to do with it. You know what I'm saying? He did look human, and he looked terrible, but maybe Rico is why he looked that way. You know what I mean? Usyk didn't look untouchable like he normally does. Constant movement, endless stamina, sharp reactions, mental control. I mean, he just looked slow in there. He was easy to touch, easy to pressure. I mean, Rico was leaning on him. I mean, that shit shocked everybody. But we do know, you got to be fair to Usyk, the Ukraine situation may be affecting him mentally, being in those training camps away from family. You know, that's been weighing heavily on him for years, you know. But maybe that constant stress, the responsibility, the media obligations, and maybe he's dealing with a lot of emotional exhaustion just finally caught up with him mentally. And in the ring, he was in there getting, you know, we saw what happened. He didn't look mentally free. He looked distracted. Something fell off. And then you got this beast in the ring, Rico Verhoeven, who's coming at you, coming at you. You know, Usyk had to figure it out. But I do think the outside pressure surrounding his life could have affected his performance. But one thing's for sure, Usyk never stopped believing in himself because, that uppercut, it was the right uppercut too. It wasn't, boom, the left uppercut. He threw the 1, 2, he threw the 5. You know what I'm saying? Shit, that shit landed, changed everything. You know what I mean? So that just lets you know that Usyk, he's always, dangerous. Always just trying to figure things out. Always just, staying mentally strong, knowing that he has a chance. And the chance to land something devastating. And when he landed that shot, that shit changed the momentum. Rico was hurt badly. The arena went crazy. And, it looked like the fight was over. Then he got up, the referee with his bullshit with the mouthpiece. And Rico came back over and Usyk started binging him. And Rico was out, man. He was still up, but he was hurt. But then the bell rang, he was still on his feet, and Usyk threw more shots, then the referee jumped in. See, that's why fans are furious over the referee stoppage. And that's the debate. Why you stop the fight after the bell? Once the bell rang, that's it. Let the man go back to his corner. Even if he kind of stumbles over there a little bit, let him go back to his corner. And let his corner bring him back to life. But a full minute to recover, then going into the final round, championship on the line, unified. They should have given him an opportunity. They did him wrong. The bell had sounded. Rico was standing. He earned the right to recover. Championship fights deserve every opportunity. So the stoppage was premature. And it was confusing. Unfair, that's a tough call, but it was premature and confusing for sure. But now Rico wants a no contest, you know what I mean? He wants to petition the fight to be ruled for a no contest, and this is fans kind of split. Because a lot of them feel like, the timing was wrong. He deserves a minute rest. The referee interfered a bit too much there towards the end, but Usyk was taking over. He was badly hurt. The stoppage saved him from further damage. If he would have come out in the 12th round, Usyk would have been on him. But either way, the controversy made the fight even bigger. Now there's talk of a rematch, but Usyk has to fight Caballero first, and then possibly rematch Verhoeven. But just watch the play, because the WBC is ranking Rico in the top 5. And some people are pissed about that, but I'm telling you, I think Rico beats most of them guys. I ain't lying. So this whole thing about AJ, Dubois, Wilder, Hergovic, Parker, look, those guys just got to understand, Rico is here. And he'll probably be going up against one of them. Joseph Parker would be a good fight. Because Parker's looking to get back in the ring. Hergovic would be a good fight. Dubois would be a good fight because I don't think Dubois and Wardley should fight each other, but not the rematch. I don't even think they're going to be the same. But I'm just telling you, Rico could compete with all those guys and probably beat them. He's that good, man. Look at his size, athleticism, the IQ, the pressure. That shit creates problems for everybody. For everybody, you know what I mean? Especially fighters who gas out, panic under pressure, rely on power, struggle with movement. You know what I mean? All of those guys will have their hands full with someone like Rico. But I'm just telling you, man, whether you think he earned being ranked by the WBC or not, I'll just tell you this. He looked incredibly sharp, disciplined in the ring, and he did the business. You know what I'm saying? He really did. I got to give him all the credit in the world. Rules are rules. The bell rang. You can't stop a fighter after the round ended without giving recovery time. Rico deserved round 12. I understand. But one thing that happened, he gained belief, and fans did too. So he didn't get the victory, but what he got is legitimacy in boxing. Before this fight, many fans, they were mocking crossover fights. But now, people are seriously discussing Rico and what he could do as a heavyweight division. And being ranked by the WBC is absolutely amazing, man. Skill is skill. He passed the eye test, and he just pushed probably the greatest heavyweight alive right now. So his whole career is forever changed. You know what I'm saying? He's not just a kickboxer. He's got it. And he's fearless, too. And that matters in heavyweight boxing. Anyway, let's see what the future holds for Rico. I'll be honest with you. I don't care what anyone says. I think he earned that shit. To do that to Usyk, he earned being ranked. And he's going to earn going into another big fight. And watch him win. Watch him win. Anyway, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.